Hey everyone! Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Stories like this deserve to be shared. The first thing I noticed when I walked into the party was the way the light caught her hair, making it glow gold against the dark velvet of her dress. Emma was laughing, leaning closer than usual to some guy I hadn't met before, her hand brushing his arm just a little too long. My chest tightened without warning, the kind of ache you don't expect until it hits. I wanted to step back, to remind myself that maybe I was imagining things, but my gut told me otherwise. We had been married for 5 years. 5 years of small routines, inside jokes whispered over morning coffee, and the quiet rhythm of life that makes you forget just how fragile trust can be. Emma had always been affectionate, careful with words, always texting me a little thinking of you during her lunch breaks. Tonight, though, there was something different. Something that made me feel like I'd stepped into a movie where the main character realizes too late that the plot has shifted. I tried to brush it off. She's just talking, I told myself. But when she laughed at one of his jokes, the way her eyes sparkled, I couldn't breathe. I took a sip of my drink, focusing on the condensation sliding down the glass, on the muffled music that vibrated through the floor. I wanted to ask her to come dance, to pull her back into the world I thought we shared, but the words stuck in my throat, and then my phone buzzed. A message from a number I didn't recognize flashed across the screen. Thanks for letting me have a moment with her tonight. She's unforgettable. My hand trembled as I dropped the phone onto the table, the tiny screen glowing like a warning in the dim light. I glanced back at her, and she was smiling at him, leaning closer still. My stomach dropped. For a second, I thought maybe I could laugh this off, but a voice in my head whispered, "You're too late. You're already too late." I didn't know then how far it had gone, or what would happen by morning. All I knew was that something had shifted, and I couldn't turn back the clock. The morning sunlight hit the kitchen through half-closed blinds, sharp and unforgiving. I was already awake, staring at the coffee cup in my hands, tasting nothing but bitterness. Emma hadn't come to bed until well past midnight, and when she finally appeared in the doorway, her hair was slightly mussed, her eyes wide but bright, like she hadn't a care in the world. I watched her, heart thumping. There was a phone on the counter, her phone, buzzing with notifications. I hesitated. Should I? Should I not? But some invisible force pushed me, and I unlocked it. The screen was a minefield. Texts, emojis, and images I never wanted to see. Messages from the guy at the party, flirty, insistent, the kind of words that make you recoil before you even fully understand them. "Emma," my voice was low, almost breaking. She turned, curious, not defensive, just blinking at me like the sun had risen too quickly. "What is it?" I held up the phone, shaking. All of these, last night. What the hell is going on?" Her face paled, and I saw the first flicker of fear, or maybe guilt. She opened her mouth, hesitated, then closed it again. "It's not what you think," she said softly, a tremor in her voice. But it was exactly what I thought. The messages told a story I had wanted to read, but couldn't unsee. Invitations to meet, playful jokes that felt intimate, late-night texts while I was asleep. Every word etched betrayal into the air between us. I backed away, my hands tight around the counter. Now what I think. "Emma, you were, yesterday, leaning on him, laughing at him, touching him. Do you even realize what this looks like?" She swallowed hard, eyes glistening. I didn't mean anything by it. I was just, he made me laugh. It's nothing, I swear. "Nothing?" I whispered, feeling like the floor had dropped out from under me. You don't know what nothing looks like. You don't know how it feels to watch your wife drift closer to someone else right in front of you. Her hands shook, fumbling with the hem of her shirt. She wanted to explain, to apologize, maybe even cry, but I couldn't let myself listen. Not yet. I grabbed my coat. I need air. And as I stepped out into the morning chill, my phone buzzed again, this time a new message from the same number. "I told you she was mine for tonight. Thanks again." Something inside me snapped. I knew then that this wasn't just flirting, not just a mistake. This was something deeper, darker, and by the end of the day, I realized I would be forced to confront it, and her, In a way I never imagined be why evening, the air between us was thick with things unsaid. I didn't speak as Emma set the table, her movements stiff, careful, as if she were walking on glass. I wanted answers. I wanted the truth, raw and ugly, not excuses that tasted like sugar, but left a bitter aftertaste. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I dropped into the chair across from her, my hands clasped tightly. Emma, tell me, did it happen? My voice was barely a whisper, yet it cut through the room sharper than any scream. Her eyes filled with tears, but she wouldn't meet mine. I didn't sleep with him, she said, voice trembling. I swear, it was just a moment. I didn't mean. You leaned on him. You whispered in his ear. You laughed at things I never heard before. And all those texts. I slammed the phone down, the vibration echoing across the table. What do you call that? She broke then, shoulders shaking, voice cracking. I felt alive for a moment. I felt something I forgot I could feel. But I didn't want to hurt you. I never wanted to hurt us. I stared at her, the woman I'd loved, the woman who had become a stranger in a single night. My heart ached with disbelief and rage, a tidal wave that threatened to drown me. The betrayal wasn't just in what she'd done. It was in the fact that she'd hidden it, the way secrets festered in the dark while I slept, trusting everything I had to her. I took a deep breath, trying to find a version of myself that could speak without breaking. Emma, I don't know if we can go back from this. I don't know if the trust we had is even here anymore. She reached out, trembling, but I didn't take her hand. Not yet. Not now. I know, she whispered. I'll do whatever it takes to fix this. But I realize then that some things can't be fixed. Some betrayals leave marks too deep, and some truths don't let you forget. I walked out, leaving the silence behind, the memory of her smile still haunting me, knowing that by the next morning, everything we thought we had would be gone, or at least changed forever. If you've ever felt heartbreak, betrayal, or the weight of trust broken, share your thoughts below. And don't forget to subscribe. Stories like this remind us that love isn't always easy, and sometimes the hardest lessons are the ones we learn too late.